Yeah, man. I was just kind of talking with Ryan there. I'm 48. I've been listening to you since the old days, the AIP, and all your columns in the Post Herald, and we share some mutual friends also. And I listen every day, and I love it. I love how open you are with your callers and honest, and you're willing to listen to all sides of the spectrum. But it's just an observation and a question for you, actually. I've observed there's just a lot more callers from your core caller base. And I'm talking about the old school Jim from Tuscaloosa core, and Chris and all those other dudes. I'm talking about the core you've kind of built up over the last few years since moving over to ESPN. But since this pandemic has started, COVID has started, I see a lot different callers calling in, and they're going straight to the politics, and it's apparent where they get their news from. Just to preface it, I'm right down the middle. I'm libertarian, okay? I'm a Rand Paul guy, Ron Paul guy.
Sure.
But I think it's starting to turn a lot of your core audience off. And I know you can't control it. It's your show, and that's the beauty of your show. You're the trailblazer in this format by allowing people to speak their mind and letting them do so. But just like the young kid, I can't remember his name, from South Carolina, every time he calls in, I've never heard of him. I know him from Adam's House Cat, and all of a sudden he's calling in every week, or every other day, doom and gloom. If he'd take a little time to get outside of his bubble and his echo chamber, wherever they're getting their news from, or however woke they want to be, and he would find out that I'll tell you, look at Clay Travis has put some good stuff out there, and I know that may be inappropriate to mention another commentator on the show. But
Heath, let me ask you to pause right there, because I want to finish this call, and we can't do it because we're up against the break. Clay's a friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time, so
I love Clay.
Don't go anywhere. We'll come right back.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Paul.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Imagine a coffee cup. It may seem small, but it comes from a small business, one of thousands on eBay. Powered by people, millions of people, all over the country, all working to get you exactly what you want. And that's no small thing. That's everything. Get your thing on eBay.
For your Gulf Coast Sports Minute, I'm JP. Minnesota Twins began workouts Wednesday with a 60-man roster for an abbreviated season. The Blue Wahoos had connections across every position. 1/3 of the Twins player pool for the 60-game season, which starts July 23rd, consists of players who wore a Blue Wahoos uniform for at least 3 games in 2019. Those 20 are led by the trifecta of first-rounders, Alex Kirilloff, Trevor Larnach, and Royce Lewis, who were together late last season. In our recruiting spotlight this week, Raymond Cottrell for the Milton Panthers. This young sophomore garnered attention from FSU and got an offer as well before he even stepped foot in the halls of Milton High School. At 6'3", 215, rightfully so, as he's collected more offers after 1 year at Milton from the likes of Jeremy Pruitt and the Tennessee Volunteers, as well as Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Cottrell can do a little bit of everything, but is tough to gauge as he hasn't even gotten started yet. If you don't know the name, you will, because this young man is one freak athlete. That's your Gulf Coast Sports Minute. I'm JP.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location.
In the forest near the side of the road.
No need for alarm, sir. The forest is where bears live.
But this was no ordinary bear.
No ordinary bear?
1 second, I'm having a smoke taken in the view. Next thing I know, I am face to face with Smokey Bear.
Let me guess, Smokey had a tip for you.
He did. He must have seen me toss my cigarette on the ground. He told me never to do that because it only takes 1 spark to start a wildfire.
He's a smart bear. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
That's what Smokey said. I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous, and you're not.
Good point.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Nick Saban has a message for us regarding the coronavirus.
First of all, I hope this message finds you and your families safe and well. On behalf of our program, we want to give thanks to all the medical professionals and caregivers in our state and across the country in these challenging times. Our daily routines have changed dramatically over these past weeks. As we have said to our team, we share the same message to all of you. Please understand the following guidelines of social distancing. We ask that everyone please wash your hands often. Stay at home if at all possible. And when you have to be out in public, make sure you keep 6 feet between you and the nearest person. We are in this together, and as one team, we will get through these difficult times. And together, we look forward to all that's to come, like the opportunity to play college football this fall. But the best and safest way to ensure that happens is to listen to the experts, follow their guidelines, and take care of each other. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Over the last few months, we've realized that those excuses of not doing yard work, you've had to pay up. No excuses to get fat eating a bunch of rancid chicken wings and 3 pitchers because it's football Sunday. Tired of trying to pronounce names overseas at 4 a.m. that we don't know in Korea in baseball. But sports is coming back, and we're optimistic to carry all the biggest games on the Sports Drive, 5 to 7 each and every night on ESPN Pensacola. Thank God all of this didn't happen during college football season.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, we'll get to more on Patrick Mahomes' big contract, $500 million. And we'll also talk some local news, including one interview you're not going to want to miss with a nice dinner with Tom Brady.
Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derrick Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome to the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each and every day on Blab TV. I'm Chad Brilliante, glad to be with you here on this Tuesday afternoon. Coming up on the show, we're going to have some fun today. Cam Walker will join us to talk some Clemson football, as she does each and every week. And Logan 30 acres. You go to his YouTube page, and all you have to say is, guy's got like 20 million followers. Does pretty good. Not to say that this is a goal in life, but drives around in a Lambo. He's doing okay for himself. He's doing pretty good. He's going to join us today after the article in the PNJ. Great article on opportunity. I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you say this in the business, but he was able to have a lunch with Tom Brady. Paid a little for it, but had an opportunity. All the sports memorabilia, the opportunity to have a chance to meet an icon of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Is that what we're saying these days? But it's going to be awesome. He's coming in studio today. Him and Wendy and everybody will be in studio coming up here at 6 o'clock, and we're looking forward to the interview. He does some really cool stuff online with Mario and some puppet shows that a lot of kids, he's been doing it for a while, and looking forward to the interview. JP joining us as well. You can hear him on Talk Football with Coach K each and every afternoon from 12 to 1, and just so glad that we get to catch up today. Glad to see you, my friend.
I don't know what you mean by that. Is there a meaning behind the way you're saying that?
Not at all. Just want to make you confused.
Right on.
I know.
I've been watching this.
The Kaepernick Tennessee Titans conversation?
Oh, we never got into that yesterday.
No, you avoided it, I think.
I did. I'd rather not get into that.
Here's the deal with any of that. It doesn't matter if you're okay with the whole situation with Kaepernick or anything going on in the NFL. It's okay to have your own opinion, but you can be 100% on board with players taking a knee. You could be 100% on board on Colin Kaepernick being a good quarterback. You can even have his jersey, think he's one of the best. But it is okay to be part of a team that says, I don't want any of the baggage that's about to come with it. That's okay to say. We're now on pathway 2 of that, where the owners and other people are like, look, keep me out of this. We got a team trying to do something going on. Is he one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL? Yes, he's one of the best. Come on.
Is he?
Ryan Finley started games last year. Seriously. That's all you have to say. That's like case dismissed. Everybody go home. Ryan Finley started. He could not win. He threw for like 170 and 4 interceptions. Everybody, good night. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Colin Kaepernick is one of the top 64 quarterbacks in the game. Would you agree with that comment?
I don't know. Like, okay. Have you seen that? Have you went out there and watched?
So you're saying though,
a guy that hasn't played in 4 or 5 years. You're telling me right now you know.
Who's your backup quarterback for Ryan Tannehill?
I don't know. But answer my question.
Okay.
You're telling me right now a guy that hasn't played in the league for almost 5 years, and you know he's one of the top 64.
Has it been 4 or 5 years?
Yes. 2016.
Gosh, we've been talking about this way too long.
Remember, people, and look, I want to make this very clear. If he's good enough, he deserves to play. That's all I'm going to say on that. But with that being
round 1,
said,
he was good enough the first time around.
Okay, but he was being benched for Chase Daniel Blaine Gabbert.
That's okay on his own team. I agree with that.
Hold on.
Okay.
He was being benched for who? Who again? Blaine Gabbert? Blaine Gabbert.
You're talking. You just completely.
Hold on.
How dare you attack Missouri like that?
The whole
entire university right there, Blaine Gabbert and Chase Daniel.
Got benched for Blaine Gabbert. I want to make this very clear. Now,
two legend quarterbacks.
Kaepernick, when he was playing and he was starting and he was good. He was real good. Of course, I'm not taking that away from him. But we do have to use common sense. And remember, this guy got benched for Blaine Gabbert. So now the thing is people are telling me that he is good enough. Well, if he's good enough, then get him out there. Let's see him. But first off, I am so sick of people talking for Kaepernick. Kaepernick has a voice. He had no problem with using his voice before. Why can't he use it now to say he wants to come back and actively try to come back? But to hear a guy that has been – we're talking about Cam Newton, who's been injured and out of the league not even a year, and people are like, he's not even the same player anymore. And we're talking about a guy in Kaepernick that has been out for almost 5 years, and we're saying, oh yeah, he deserves to be in the league. I'm not saying he's not a third string or he's a whatever. What I am saying is, how do people know this? Just because Ryan Finley's not very good, I agree. Ryan Finley's terrible. But how do we not know Kaepernick is terrible? Like this guy, remember when he went out of the league in 2016, this guy got benched for Blaine Gabbert. But we ignore that. You know why? Because people will come after you and call you things. if you say things like that. But it's facts. I'm not strewing anything. I don't know how Kaepernick is. He could be really good right now. But the fact that he's been out of the league that long, and we're all of a sudden saying he is, we know that. How? That's what I want to know.
This is what I'll say to this. Because if anybody out there right now is like, I'm sick of this host defending, this is not the path we're taking here today, folks, and we've heard this show enough, so I hope everybody understands. I will defend him to the death that right now he is one of the top 64 quarterbacks, because there are quarterbacks starting right now that are awful. The quarterback, and I remember Mina Kimes said it in a quick answer, and I can't remember, but the quarterback right now, who is the backup quarterback for the Titans currently?
Logan Woodside.
Sorry, I don't laugh that much on the show, but I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. This is not a purpose laugh here.
But tell me
who is Logan Woodside?
Hold on. Tell me how you know he is, Chad. Please tell me how you think Kaepernick deserves to be on a roster.
Because unless he's from Japan, I've never heard of this guy.
Well, that's shame on you then.
Give me all of Logan Woodside's big numbers.
How does Kaepernick deserve to have a start? How does he deserve to be on a team? Answer me that.
Yes,
Would these guys bust their tail day in and day out, and you're telling me he deserves to be on a team right now? And I'm not talking about all the other stuff that he's done.
To you. I apologize.
I'm saying from a talent perspective, he's been out of the league almost 5 years, and you're telling me right now he deserves?
But he just threw like a couple months ago. Look, this is not me defending. I'm talking about physical play.
How many guys do we have in Pensacola can go out and throw and look like superstars too? There's high school quarterbacks that can do that.
This is all great.
Don't give me that against nothing.
This is one of these answers that's like, I don't love Brazilian ladies. I'm a big fan of European women. And then you go, okay, so you're not going to take this supermodel. Okay, Logan Woodside was a 7th-round pick from Toledo in 2018 by the Cincinnati Bengals. So he was on the Bengals roster at one point. Okay, so Colin Kaepernick, though, he just threw – I'm talking about straight football, because I would be one of those owners right now that would say, and I'm making this clear, it's nothing to do with everything going on, but I wouldn't want that to get in the way like Seattle talked about it, Pete Carroll. And quit with the Pete Carroll stuff with like, oh, man, we would love to have him. Then, Pete, make a phone call and get him. Because you know what you're doing in that situation? You're having him hold a clipboard again, because he sure as heck is not taking over Russell Wilson's job. You know what I'm saying? Let's make that clear. I'd rather, if you're a fan of Kaepernick, I am not, but if you're a fan of him, you would want him to go to a team that he has a shot to win the job. Now, that's why Tennessee was brought up, because Logan Woodside is the backup right now, who was a third stringer for the Cincinnati Bengals. We don't know. You're right. We do not know. But if I calmly, because you and I are starting to, we got the glass here going, because I'm the one that's been taking it from the Patriots, so you're getting a little Titans today. But with this, though, if we said, okay, right now, quarterback that has been to a Super Bowl and finished number 3 in the MVP voting versus Logan Woodside, you have to choose right now as a backup, the potential of a backup, who would you take?
Are you going to mention the fact that he's been out of the league for 4 or 5 years?
Well, that needs to be mentioned, yeah. But he also
that's a big deal.
He went out and threw for everybody, and he's been keeping himself in shape. Michael Vick made a comeback.
He didn't go out and throw
Michael
for
Vick
everybody.
was in jail for a couple years and came back for the Eagles.
Let's make that clear. He didn't go out and throw for everybody.
No,
he was going to, and then he decided. Look, I want to make this very clear. Don't get it twisted. He deserves a tryout or a workout deserves to be on an NFL roster. Those guys that are on these NFL rosters bust their ASS to get on a roster, period.
This whole argument is
and the fact
Colin
that,
Kaepernick against Logan Woodside. That's what I'm doing.
Remember, Kaepernick, when he was talking about the XFL and all this other stuff, because everybody said he wanted to play, and he's like, I'll take nothing less than $20 million, knowing very good and well they weren't going to do it. So do you think Kaepernick is going to take a very cheap a Cam Newton? Cam Newton just took nothing to be on the Patriots to get an opportunity to possibly start. Do you think that that's what Kaepernick's going to do? Once again,
I think he's not going to get picked up right now based on that.
I want to hear from him. That's simply said. I'm tired of people talking for him. Let's hear from him.
At this point, I think he's got enough press. We're going to move on to something else. But what I will say, though, is why would somebody from a mindset when everything before the peaceful protests or the riots, whatever, why would somebody, when they had the shot to not sign Kaepernick then, why would they have not done that for the PR if they're going to wait till here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't believe he's going to get signed. 32 teams said no the first time, and I don't think it's going to happen this time. And that's not my decision. The actions of the owners are speaking. So we're just giving the news out there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just was going to – the whole point of this was the razz of I forgot we left early yesterday, and I did not get a chance to go after your Titans. That's it. Because I'm salty and you guys beat us in the playoffs. That's the whole point of this
Before
right
people
now.
put words in my mouth, I want to make this very clear.
Yes, he looks good in blue.
This is his throwing that he did was
Light
against
blue.
the air, so we can't, whatever. But regardless, he deserves what he does deserve is a workout in front of NFL teams to get a shot if he wants to come back. Nobody's even said. Well, people are saying he wants to come back. He hasn't said a word. What he does not deserve yet is to be on an NFL roster. That's two completely different things. If he goes out there in the workouts and he wows people, and these owners or these coaches are like, this dude's good. Yeah, he's still got it. Sure, he can be he may not be our starter, but he can be a backup or he can help us win. Then yes, he deserves to play. He deserves to be on a team. But he does not deserve to be on an NFL roster just because we think he's one of the top 64, whether he is or not. He deserves a workout. And I go back to the whole point of everything is, can we please hear from Colin Kaepernick? He is a grown man. He has had no problem speaking out. And I'm not saying that in a negative light. He just hasn't had a problem speaking out before. Why go dark now? Why is he going dark and we're not hearing anything from him?
Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian, more of a kinder note here, but he is recovering after a heart procedure. Hey, look, if anybody
I'm
can
not saying anything.
Listen.
That was Sark. I'm leaving that alone.
It's been long enough to know that you drove me to the hospital right after we got done with the show about, a month ago? And we were up there by 2 a.m. Good man, by the way. You find a lot about a true character. No, don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. I got
a reputation I need to hold.
Yeah, listen. Good people stay around right there. And, until my wife could get up there, you had a chance to sit up there until 2 a.m. and going through what I thought was a heart attack and end up being a certain virus, and it's still affecting. I finally got through my final I'm like one of those, finally the fist pump in the air, got through the final cardiologist appointment, so I guess I'm good. I'm not just going to go back to slugging down Ed Ogeron Red Bulls, but I'm happy to be here, happy to be alive, feel free. But Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian recovering from heart procedures. So let's not correlate us together. We both might have consistencies that we work in sports, and we.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going on that?
Yeah.
Consistencies on that?
A little bit different consistencies, yeah.
I don't see, but I do speeches in front of people a different way. But the good news is he's recovering. We don't
typically slur.
Exactly. Yeah. How dare you even for a second believe that it's slurring and not just I would not show up to an event.
That's a nice way of putting what I'm just you're pulling me in more and more that I want to say something. Look, there's Budenholzer.
Is that right there?
Yeah, Budenholzer. He looks worse.
Gosh. How many people look terrible? Who wins, him or Trey Wingo from Quarantine just did you nasty?
Oh, Wingo.
Wingo looked like Father Time. He looked like the guy from the Stephen King Thinner movie, the end scene. He was like, I once had children. Looked really bad right there. Actually, somebody called him Peter Gammons online. They were like, why is Peter Gammons like, Trey, it's not a good look right there. Steve Sarkisian, though, is recovering. That's the good news right now. Underwent heart surgery and is expected to make a full recovery. He's 46 years old. And was he really in his late 30s when he coached Washington and USC? Yep. I didn't know that.
That's why he could still pound him down.
Makes more sense now.
He was a young
I honestly
fella.
I really thought he was in his late 40s, early 50s. It makes a little more sense right now that he would do that.
Joking tested negative, but he missed his flight to Orlando. Oh, that's awesome. I love
right now what's happening
sports
in the NBA as we watch. Let's not feel bad for anybody that's going there to Disney World. 3 5-star hotels. They've got a beach with giraffes. They get to ride rides at Animal Kingdom. I'm not shedding a tear. They get 4. It's been clear they get 4 world-class meals, but
that's it.
Do you think, for a second, that that first? Excuse me, I've had a long day. We just won. Do you mind getting me we just made the playoffs actually after a weekend. Can I get another filet? Shh, the doors shut in their face. Can you see somebody doing that to Giannis?
Give me your punch card. Nope, you've already used your meals today. Get out.
Give me $5. These guys per minute. If anybody saw the contract with what Patrick Mahomes makes, I mean, he $500 million contract. Some of these athletes are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars like per week. I don't think they're worried about getting the extra meal. Where's the snack machine? But we're watching right now on ESPN. I don't want to watch this, but we were watching earlier the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And what I was telling people is everything about what we do here in sports, since there's really no sports, if you want to talk NASCAR, you want to talk golf, Bryson DeChambeau might be turning green here. But whatever you want to talk about, we can both understand that I want both sides. Bring something to the argument. Guy calling one time, he was like, Alabama's going to beat Mississippi 71-0, brother. And I was like, okay, that's good. What do you think? And he goes, roll beep and tied. And I was like, okay, understand. Marking that one down. We were doing a pick'ems contest. He actually almost won. The score was 63-7. But the difference is just by yelling roll blanking tied doesn't give you to the backing. You know you're good, yes, but give me something. That we have the number one quarterback in the nation. Our offensive line has 4 5-stars. Our running backs, both are going to be drafted. Our 2 receivers run 4 3s. Our defense has 7 of the top 10 guys in next year's NFL draft. Give me all of that. Whatever you want to give me, that's cool. But the same with this conversation. Right now we have the basketball tournament. TBT, baby. TBT. And the TBT is saying we're going out there and playing. 28 teams. They're not bubbled. Guys go home to their parents.
And in Columbus.
Whatever.
It's Columbus,
it's in Columbus,
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
But the guys go whatever they want, go back to the hotels. They're around people. They come back and play basketball. Just like when we walk into work right here at ADX, they take your temperature, and they play. The referees, the coaches aren't wearing masks. I'm not condoning all this policy. That's not the point. But what I'm saying is right in our face for the next 3 weeks. We're going to see 28 teams trying to shoot for $1 million. Why are they doing it? Because a lot of these guys are trying to make money so they can survive this year because this tournament that they work, the team that you have as a pickup team that you go to the gym and play with together, that softball team that those guys are a bunch of ringers that used to play for UWF and other guys, well, that's what they're doing. And they're trying to make $1 million. But it's happening on ESPN. And not one network is covering any of it to talk about it. So if somebody truly believed right now, currently, that's telling us all around the nation that nothing can happen, that you have a basketball tournament that ESPN is actually showing with endorsement deals right as we speak live with 28 teams, then how can we not get a season in Disney? When we come back, I'll give you the platform to answer that question, and I'll humbly listen.
I have all the answers.
You have all the answers?
All of them, for every sport.
It's Mickey's fault. We're coming back for more.
$75 ears.
That's right. Now that is a crime. We're coming back for more. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and on Blab TV.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Working on an oil change? We can help you get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 synthetic high-mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $31.99. And if you need it fast, you can get it fast your way. Whether it's next-day delivery or free same-day pickup, in-store or curbside. The choice is yours. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Tired of waking up hot and uncomfortable? Start sleeping cool on the Tempur-Breeze by Tempur-Pedic. It's engineered with a revolutionary cooling system that pulls excess heat away from your body to help you sleep deeper all night and wake up more refreshed every morning. During the Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep, save $500 on all Tempur-Breeze mattresses and experience your coolest sleep this summer with our best Breeze savings of the year. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at Jiffy Lube.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion.
It's the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It's the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech.
The veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble.
It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press.
It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
We should all be very proud of our young men and women in the service, no matter where they serve. Thank you.
JP here. Everyone here at ESPN Pensacola wants to send a shout out to our first responders and healthcare workers at this time. We know it's tough, but we appreciate the work you put day in and day out. We also want to thank our essential workers out there for helping all of us continue to live our lives as normal as possible in this time. For our community, keep rocking it. We are going to get through this. Remember, we were named the #1 strong town in America. That wasn't by accident. We have seen so many people step up and do their part, and we thank all those people for their efforts. We will be stronger for this, and together, we will beat COVID-19.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Florida. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Over the last few months, we've realized that those excuses of not doing yard work, you've had to pay up. No excuses to get fat eating a bunch of rancid chicken wings and 3 pitchers because it's football Sunday. Tired of trying to pronounce names overseas at 4 a.m. that we don't know in Korea in baseball. But sports is coming back, and we're optimistic to carry all the biggest games on the Sports Drive, 5 to 7 each and every night on ESPN Pensacola. Thank God all of this didn't happen during college football season.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Feel like I'm running through a video game right now, trying to win. Jump for the star. Welcome back to the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each every day on Blab TV. Well, Patrick Mahomes got paid a ton of cash, and he probably deserves to be the guy that gets paid a ton of cash. I saw a couple shows today talking about, well, what's that going to do for Dak Prescott? Shouldn't change any of the fact that he's already been asking for way too much money. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, if you're Dak Prescott, you got to understand that you've already been asking for way too much. Like, they're willing to pay you the most before the Patrick Mahomes deal in NFL history per year. And you still pushed that away. What Patrick Mahomes has done in 2 years is go out there and throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and be eliminated by Tom Brady the year that Tom Brady won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Mano a mano, when you didn't get another shot in overtime to beat him. The next year, you go out there and you get hurt and you still come back and you're the first player in NFL history, and I don't think this will ever happen again. I don't see this stat. There's some stats like Cal Ripken. Nobody's ever going to catch him. Heck, you play a couple weeks in baseball. We get a baseball season in right now. It would be nice. But one thing we don't nobody's ever going to get to 2,600 games, play 20 straight years without an injury. And Cal Ripken, you think for 2 seconds he didn't play without an injury? Come on. You know how many times he probably had a sprained ankle or was hungover or had one of those moments where he didn't want to, quote, play and they had an injury report, but he still went out there and played. Maybe not Wade Boggs style, but I'm just saying, when you talk about a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he goes out and comes back from 10 points, 24 points, and 10 points. You'll never have another player that wins a Super Bowl, and in every game in the playoffs that they won, they came back from down double digits to win. Double digits. But Mahomes was that good, and you could be like, well, they had to come back. That has nothing to do with him playing defense. That just means he had to save the team. If you are going to pay a guy, Mahomes is the guy to pay. So, I mean, it's a ridiculous contract. Yes, somebody's like, is that too much money? They're all too much money. But how much is the owner making on them? Because I know Kansas City's getting a lot more benefits than when they used to have Sonny Bono back there.
Well,
not Sonny Bono, by the way.
The thing is he won't be making big-time money until 2023. When you look at the breakdown of it year by year, this year he'll make $10.8 million. Next year he'll make $22.8 million. 2022 he'll make $29.4 million. And then in 2023 is when he'll make $40 million, and then it drops down to $37.9 in 2024. And then 2027, Andy Reid will probably be long gone by then. He is, right now projected to make $59.95 million. That's when it jumps up. So we'll see. And then, of course, his last 2 years, he's supposed to make more than $50 million as well. But what this does for the Chiefs, it's actually, right now it's a genius move because the guy gets paid long term. We'll see what happens with it because how rare is it we'll see if Mahomes can stay there for 10 years. If he wants to stay there for 10 years, I know there's a no trade clause in it. A lot of things can happen in 10 years, but what this deal does is give Kansas City a 3-year window to continue to add weapons or keep that team together. Because once you go to 40-something million or whatever, 41, 42 million a year, it's going to be tough. And, history tells us that typically teams that pay quarterbacks in that upper echelon of the salary cap that are 10% plus, they don't win the Super Bowl outside of a guy like Tom Brady or somebody. So it's going to be interesting. I know that the CBA will change this, so this number will actually kind of even out a little bit more because people are going to make more money. But this, like I said, gives a 3-year window for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's actually a genius move, and it turns, once again, it's Patrick Mahomes. If anybody deserves to get paid right now, he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, the Dak Prescott conversation is a guy that is 1-6 against playoff teams last year.
6-17 in his career.
Mahomes is the best quarterback right now in the NFL.
Cheers.
I said that, too, before Tom Brady got traded to the Bucs. I want to make that clear. Tom Brady's still the GOAT. When you've been to more Super Bowls than any franchise, which is Green Bay, I want to say Dallas and Denver. Yeah, it's Dallas, Denver, and Green Bay have all been to 8. Tom Brady's been to 9. New England's been to 11, but those are both heart-wrenching. The day I was born, actually, January 25th, 1985, when the Super Bowl Shuffle, the Chicago Bears was in action. And I was born. My dad was running back to watch us lose probably by a lot. But then you had Drew Bledsoe going up against Brett Favre, and that was over before it started.
Genius.
Yeah. But then Tom Brady comes around, and it works out. So people need to understand, though, that right now, though, you can see, once again, we can go with every stat. Because I've heard people, too, being like, oh, where did a guy like Patrick Mahomes come from? Texas Tech was his school. Yeah. Wouldn't hear of him much. Okay, go back and look at the games. Do you know he has the stat for the most yards in a single game in college football? Threw for 785 yards.
Wasn't him and Baker Mayfield went back and forth?
They both combined for 1,600 yards in a game. Or I think it was 1,600. Yeah, 1,600 total yards in a game between the two.
Joe Burrow's laughing.
But Patrick Mahomes, he went 5-7 actually one year, 5-7, and he looks pretty humble even when they lose on the sidelines.
It's eggs and ketchup.
I got to stare at that face when Brady beat him in overtime. But watching him play at 5-7, I went back and looked because I'm like, okay, before you just say this was a 5-7 college quarterback, how could he be this good in the NFL? Because let's be real, when Deshaun Watson was picked behind anybody, and he was picked behind Mitch Trubisky, which now we can still laugh, and then he was also picked behind a guy.
Oh, great. Mitch just
Patrick
turned the
Mahomes.
radio show off.
That's
Thanks.
all right. He can cry.
Yeah,
that's what he'll do.
Way
He'll
to
cry.
go.
Walk down Hallis Hall and cry.
Listen.
Not worried about him.
He's going to tweet about us.
It's a backup for Foles. But when it comes down to a guy like Deshaun Watson, people are like, wow, are you kidding me? Like, did he seriously go before that? But we didn't know a lot about Mahomes. So you go back and research. They were losing games 51-44, 54-47. I mean, this was Cliff Kingsbury's team. The defense was giving him no support. He actually threw for almost 5,000 yards that year. But he had nothing to do. He can't play defense. Patrick Mahomes, if anybody deserves a contract, if somebody is going to get paid early on in their career. Because think about the quarterbacks that have been paid. Joe Flacco, Tony Romo, looking at guys like Mike Glennon. Let's just move on. Kirk Cousins. You can go down a long list of quarterbacks that really don't deserve that money that have been paid. Jared Goff. Jared Goff makes the third most money in the NFL right now. So to go to a guy like Patrick Mahomes that actually now has made that much money, which is absurd. I mean, $503 million when all is said and done, if this goes through, is insane. But if anybody's going to get paid, you would expect the guy who deserves to get paid should be that guy. And he's that guy.
69, 55, 59, 55, 38, 59, 44, 54, 27, 37. That was games that he played his senior year at Tech. Scores. That was how many points they put up. Just to give you an idea. Just throwing that out there. So they averaged over 44 points a game. It's pretty good. I mean, you think they went 5-7 and they put up scores like that. That's all you need to say.
To me, that's equivalent to the guy that finished third or fourth in this year's Nathan's hot dog eating competition. And they're like, I put up like 50 hot dogs. 10 minutes. What a joke. What a joke. 25 behind Joey Chestnut over here. He didn't even get close. Like, he couldn't play defense. But the quarterback position in the NFL is one that we're all aware. There is no track record that shows anything of the sort that if your team has a lot of wins in college football, that correlates into wins in the NFL. That's the one stat. You can throw it right down a paper shredder. Because think about the quarterbacks. Tom Brady, 6th-rounder, didn't even start his whole career at Michigan. Carson Wentz, don't you know, coming over from North Dakota State, and he goes out there and he did well, but nobody even knew where he was coming from. You had Joe Flacco, Delaware Blue Hens. Big Ben Roethlisberger, Miami of Ohio. Drew Brees, Purdue, which is not the mainstream, not even in the realm of the Big Ten when you talk about great teams. You can go down the list of all Jimmy Garoppolo, Eastern Illinois, Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois, quarterbacks coming from all over that you've never even heard of the colleges. It's a consistent thing in the NFL. So Patrick Mahomes being at Texas Tech or Jared Goff going to Cal and being 6-6 or all these quarterbacks, it's very rare. Think about all the Clemson or Alabama quarterbacks that are dominating or all the quarterbacks, a lot of the Oklahoma quarterbacks didn't pan out as well. It's not always about the number one team. It's about getting that opportunity and showing your worth when you're a quarterback. And Patrick Mahomes, he helped Andy Reid get that double cheeseburger, to say the least. It's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Ferocious flavor has landed at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. It's bold, it's different, it's refreshing, it's dragon fruit. We're using real dragon fruit to blend up our fearsomely flavorful new dragon fruit smoothie. Try one today, paired with a fan favorite Super Green Caesar chicken wrap or a Chipotle Chicken Club flatbread for a powerfully tasty combo. Slay your cravings at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
This Thursday at 5:30, tune into the Sports Drive with me, Chad Brilliante, when we tee it up with PGA and head pro at Osceola Golf Course, Adrian Stills, for his inside scoop on local golf events and some entertaining stories around the links. Adrian has represented Pensacola at the highest levels of the PGA Tour and is proud to call Pensacola his home. And now he's giving you the inside scoop Thursday at 5:30, right here on the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now, you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one.
You can try a full 30-day bottle of P3 Advanced, free. Just cover shipping and handling, and a free bottle will be conveniently shipped to your door. No strings attached and no commitments to buy.
Call 1-800-491-3436.
Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now.
Call 1-800-491-3436. Agents are standing by to take your call for this unprecedented free offer. Call 1-800-491-3436. 1-800-491-3436.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
You can watch Chad on the Sports Drive live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Looking forward to coming up, talking a little, an opportunity to get a chance to meet Tom Brady at a luncheon. I know that's always been on JP's bucket list right there. That'd be pretty cool right there. And Logan 30acre will join us here. He lives right here in town, and a YouTube star with over 20 million followers, and the opportunity to come up here and talk to us at 6 o'clock. Coming up at 6:30, we'll talk to Cam Walker and have an opportunity to get to more Clemson football. College football, that's the one argument that is really tough is who is the greatest college quarterback of all time? And it's really a convoluted project if you get into it.
Sam Darnold, yes.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Bruce Gradkowski, Toledo. When it comes down, it was fun to watch. He was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
He's the that should be the topic. What quarterback out of the MAC actually made those Wednesday nights entertaining?
I'm looking up best
He's
MAC
up there.
quarterback.
Well, what's the quarterback from it's got to go. That one's got to go to the Northern Illinois quarterback, Lynch, that finished like third for the Heisman that year. That's where we draw the line right now.
That's all right. Here we go.
Well, Big Ben Roethlisberger. I was going to okay.
Byron Leftwich. I'm going here. Here's the list.
Wait a second. So Marshall was at that time.
You're talking about Jordan. Oh, look
whose name
popped up. Look whose name popped up. Logan Woodside.
He did on Toledo, didn't he? Okay. Okay. Right so he's on. Well, that's making this. This is making it more of a mockery right here.
Oh man, Julian Edelman made the top 20. How about that?
Yeah, Eastern. He played over. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, I can't believe
he was a quarterback at Kent State.
Attaboy, Logan. Jordan Lynch is number 4. Dan Lefevre. Number 3,
I remember that.
Byron Leftwich, number 2, and then Big Ben, number 1.
What a great blast from the past here. But Leftwich was, Marshall. So Marshall was at that time in the MAC? Okay.
Yeah, they were. This is great.
We were in the MAC, you know that? We didn't get no nominations?
You guys still play like you're in the MAC. Bruce Gradkowski.
No nominations from there?
No, none.
Wow.
I don't think so. Bruce Gradkowski is number 7. Chandler Harnish, number 8. Nate Davis. Remember Nate Davis?
Yeah.
Don't you? I don't.
No.
All right. Matt Johnson, Bowling Green.
Okay, let's get this out of here.
Let's see. Is there Logan Woodside, number 11? Charlie Fry.
Wait a second.
Charlie Fry.
So you just mentioned the quarterback that got beat out by 2 guys you said never heard of. Let's move on.
A bunch of guys I've never heard of. I do remember Logan Woodside, but I don't.
I do remember that name, yeah.
That's it.
Because it reminds me of the X-Men character.
Josh Cribbs. Tim Hiller. I don't see. This is all like Central Michigan and Miami of Ohio dominated in all this.
The point of this conversation was trying to go towards, though, the quarterbacks in college football that you can make an argument of who the best of all time are. Matt quarterbacks, the argument has lost viewers. I did start it. But best quarterback of all time in college football. Do you look at 1 year should be the prime example? Or do you believe that it should be based on the longevity, the body of work? And when I say this, isn't like one of these marathon runners in Major League Baseball be like, he was good for 3 years, but this guy was good for 20. None of that. Let's not go down that path. I'm talking about the difference between a guy that was good for like 1 year or 2 years, or 2 years or 3 years, because that's college football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the argument.
Really
Would you say Joe Burrow? Because for that argument, Joe Burrow's got the hot and the cold. Because for one season, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback of all time.
Cold season hurts him.
It really hurts him based on that. But then you have Cam Newton, who sort of fluff it away with laptops and what's happening at Blinn Junior College.
He didn't take mine either.
But then he goes and he sits out a year, and then he's eligible at Auburn, and he goes out and he wins. So after 3 years removed, his career didn't really get to play, Blinn Junior College, sit out a year, Auburn, and now he's eligible. So really his career in big boy football was Auburn 1 year, and he goes out and he wins a title. And without him, it would have been, as Jay Jacobs, and when they were getting off that plane, we want a leader, not a loser. It would have been a 5-7 Gene Chizik team without him. They won 7 games by a touchdown or less that year, and if it wasn't for Cam, they would not have won those games. He was clearly the guy that was winning those games for him. I remember watching that game. We're at DeLuna-Fest. Remember that event at the beach? Remember DeLuna-Fest, by the way?
I do.
Yeah. I was out there watching Randall Cobb, Kentucky, playing against, going up against Cam Newton. And Kentucky had him against the ropes. Came back and beat him. Left-handed throwing, elusive, star for Green Bay. You know Randall Cobb's first play ever in the NFL was a kick return for a touchdown, though?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Only reason I know that is one of about 75 reruns that I've watched this month. And it was on NBC Sports, and it was against the Saints after the year they won in Katrina, coming off that Super Bowl title, and it was the matchup between Rodgers and Breeze, and the first play was Randall Cobb running it back for the touchdown. So his first ever play in the NFL.
How old is Randall Cobb? Okay, I thought he was older than that. He's only 29.
Seems like that. He's a lot of injuries, but he does play older, doesn't he? He seems withered in Dallas. We're like,
I feel like he was like a mid-30s guy.
But the thing about those speed guys, Devin Hester, think about it. Devin Hester, Percy Harvin, Darius Hayward-Bay.
Percy Harvin.
Any guy that you think in the NFL is like a straight speed guy, the longevity of their career is only usually only about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, Dez is only 31.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
A lot of these guys don't make it that long because they are good for a little while, and then they key in and they say, psst, Devery Henderson. You can just cover him long. Think about Ted Ginn Jr. Ted Ginn, he's probably, 35, 34 now? But Ted is one of those, he plays the game, the pickup game in the yard where you throw it deep. 1,000, who ends up with it, either catches it or it goes out of his mitts.
35.
Yeah. These guys might make a roster once in a while for one of those.
You can make a roster right now. You're in your prime.
Yeah, I would love to.
He ran a 4.28. You're not far behind that.
I can't even. I tried to create myself on a roster in Madden, and they said not acceptable. Not acceptable. Please. You just were at the hospital. We're not doing this. No, none of that. I'm just saying, overall, best quarterback. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow for best season. But overall quarterback, would you go Tebow?
Ooh. I do agree with Joe Burrow. Best season.
It intrigued you. I got that.
Yeah.
Will we go Jameis?
There's no doubt, though. It's hard to argue that. I want to say Tebow.
Okay, here's my list for individual seasons because it's so tough to argue throughout the time. Here's my Tiger King number 1. You got Joe Exotic for an individual season. 6,040 yards. He crushed every total record. 60 touchdown passes, crushed every record. 202 passer rating, best ever. Number 2, I'm going with Cam Newton. 7 wins by a touchdown or less. We're going to go with Cam up on the board. Tim Tebow, toughest player ever. And remember, he was part of 2 national titles. Chris Leak was starting, but he was a big part of that system. Number 4, I'm going to go with Tua. Remember, if it wasn't for an injury, he was sort of in line for the potential of winning 3 national titles. Think about it. He wins a national title. Without him against Jalen Hurts, he couldn't have won. Then he comes in, and the whole season dominated. It was the best passer efficiency for a season ever And then he goes out there until Joe Burrow beat it. And then Tua goes out and he loses a game where they were actually favored against Trevor Lawrence and a Clemson team that just smashed him in the mouth. And deservingly, I mean, they won that game. Fair and square, they won. They beat Tua, and they knocked him out. And then, again, really whoever wins that game against LSU, let's be honest, when Tua was playing at about 70%, where they still almost came back and won. He still threw for 420 yards and 5 touchdowns. That game, if he comes back, if he doesn't fumble that ball or a few things don't shake up before halftime, where it's a 14-point swing in the last 2 minutes of halftime, Alabama wins that game. They're the favorite to win it all. So, and then Tua gets hurt the next week against Mississippi State, but they were done at that point.
Wish we could have seen Alabama and LSU.
I would have loved to see that rematch. That was one of the best games. I mean, honestly.
Not the boring one.
The LED lights out there. What was the final? 51-45 or something? That was ridiculous. Now,
Auburn had the LEDs, by the way.
I know people talk about his health and all, but Tua in college, he won a lot of games where he got pulled at halftime, remember. So if you look at his stats, he had games where he was like 17 for 18 for like 320 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then he got pulled. So he could have been a 500-yard 7 or 8. Played for Mike Leach, he could have put up like 800 yards if he wanted to. Think about some of those bad defenses in the West when it was him against Mississippi, teams like Arkansas. They play them every year. Tennessee, Tua could have put up whatever he wanted against those teams. And for that, I will put him number 4. Jameis Winston, I'm going to put him up there. Unbeaten season, crushing teams by 40 and 50 points. Go back and look at that season. I know people don't want to root for Jameis, so they're blind to that year. But he was beating teams, even Clemson. 53-0 that year, was it? I think it was like 53 or 56-0 they beat him. And then it took him to come back and beat Auburn on a final minute drive with 1:13 after Trey Mason gets in the end zone. Next thing up, he comes back and he has another undefeated season. And then your Oregon Ducks, Marcus Mariota, knock him out. So he did it for 2 years during a time when everybody off the field was yelling, "Bum, you're a loser, we hate you." And he still figured, that's not easy to do as a young kid, even though he obviously had a lot of growing up to do. I'm not condoning crab legs or what he's having at Publix. But as a player, number 5. Number 6 on the list, I'm going with Vince Young. Insanely good Texas team to come back and USC team to come back. That is a fun
game to watch. That is a game that I will continue to watch.
Incredible. And for that alone, but everything that he did during his career, without him, they had no shot of winning that game. Vince Young, number 6. Number 7, Tommy Frazier. Best ever at the triple option attack. I mean, just destroyed teams in their way, and he knew how to do it better than anyone. Number 8 on the list.
Name I was expecting.
Michael Vick. I once again, most amazing athlete, him and Lamar Jackson, I've ever seen playing the game at quarterback. But lost FSU in the title game. Would have had no business being in the title game without him, though. Best Madden player ever, right? We can agree with?
Yeah.
All right. Number 9, I'm going to go with Peyton Manning on this. He didn't win a title, but he was still just ridiculously fun. And we've realized, too, without Peyton Manning, the same team has not been anything in Tennessee.
It's very true.
T. Martin's like, don't forget me. And then number 10 on the list, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. Here are some inserts.
Well, when you get to that, you could insert a lot of
people. You can insert
people.
Charlie Ward, Trevor Lawrence, Drew Brees, Sam Bradford. Nope. Andrew Luck, Matt Leinart. Yes,
Graham
you can.
Harrell.
Yeah. No. Colt McCoy, RG3, Lamar Jackson, Danny Werfel,
Brennan,
Carson Wentz, Steve McNair, Kyler Murray,
Gino Torretta,
Johnny Football,
Troy Smith,
Kellen Moore.
Ty
And then we'll end it
Detmer.
with this. Go to break on this. Your point, out of all these guys, only one of these guys had a 25-game win streak, and that was a valid point. Thank you, Mackenzie Milton. We'll go to break. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
Jason White.
No.
At Sprint, we understand saving money for your family is now more important than ever. That's why we're offering our best unlimited deal. Switch and get 4 lines of unlimited for just $100 a month. That's right, 4 lines for $100. Plus, the plan includes Hulu, 500 megabytes of mobile hotspot, DVD quality streaming, and more. If that's not enough, To really amp this up, we're including 4 amazing iPhone 11s on us when you trade in iPhone 6s or newer in any condition. And now, Sprint customers enjoy access to expanded coverage on the T-Mobile network. Shop from the comfort of your home at Sprint.com, call 800-SPRINT-1, or come see us in our stores. Phone after $29.17 per month credit for 18 months credit. Apply within 2 bills. If canceled early, remaining balance due. Requires new account. Unlimited basic after $731.21. Pay $35 per month per line with autopay. Data prioritization during congestion. Coverage and offer not available everywhere. Excludes taxes, fees, and roaming. Speed maximum use rules. $30 activation fee and restrictions apply.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along?
Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone?
Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project.
Cool.
Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online.
What's it cost?
Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion.
It's the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It's the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech.
The veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble.
It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press.
It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
We should all be very proud of our young men and women in the service, no matter where they serve. Thank you.
JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. Like the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr.
3-time light heavyweight world champion and former heavyweight champion of the world, future Hall of Fame legend, Roy Jones Jr.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
The latest news and sports can be heard on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Get the latest news and football on Talk Football with Coach K. Daily sports talk on your drive home on The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. And a recap and look ahead of the sports week on Sports Call with Davis and Justin every Saturday. Plus, national sports radio talk on Golic and Wingo, The Dan Lebertard Show with Stu Gotts, and The Paul Feinbaum Show. It all lives on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. This is Northwest Florida's all sports, all the time station. From Destin to New Orleans, sports fans come here for ESPN and local sports talk. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back, Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each every day on Blab TV. Coming up here at 6 o'clock, well, Pensacola YouTube star Logan 30acre will join us to talk about maybe catching up with a six-time Super Bowl champion, Tom Brady. We can share that in common. He's got real cool sports memorabilia. I got this that I was hoping, if my daughter wanted to wear that. She's a Saints girl. You got a happy wife, happy life, right? But I don't think he'll accept that, but I wanted to show him, in like the background when you're waving on it. I won't do that.
Don't scare him off.
He's like, look,
no thanks.
Not going to have that. No thanks. I got really cool like signed jerseys in my room right there. But when it comes down to everything going on in sports right now, we need to understand that one thing locally is we don't know all the answers. Today I had an opportunity.
I do. But it's fine.
No, you don't. But we'll move on from that. I thought that was valid information. You do have all the answers?
I do.
I'd love to sit back. I got a cigar in the car. You want me to go grab it?
Yes, absolutely.
Fred,
if
you're
you give
hearing
that
this,
to me, I will give you the answers.
I was going to say. Don't know if I'm looking for a fumigation event here. Yeah, let's see. There's a vent right there. Well, here's the difference. Is we don't know if football in high school, we expect a date being set, but having a chance to talk to a couple ADs today, one thing we need to understand is that there's going to be a committee that's going to vote this week on whether or not they have the chance to go with the pushback date of getting people back August 10th. So July 27th was the original date set to get to people back on campus, get them ready to go for drills, and then play on August 14th, which is the Kickoff Classic. Now, based on this, they would get back onto campus on August 10th, and the Kickoff Classic would be August 28th. Now, I know some people are hearing the news yesterday that everybody's back, that Governor DeSantis wants all kids back on this date in August. That's for school. This is for football. And there are a lot of schools, not in Escambia County alone, that have had people back at practice for their schools, whether it's basketball, volleyball, softball, all the sports, and somebody in their family or somebody during practice, whether they're asymptomatic or not, tested positive for COVID, and they had to shut it down. Now, it doesn't become mass media every day, but a lot of these teams have had to do that, and I've talked to a lot of them. The athletic directors are working from home, and the FHSAA is not making any decisions coming up until September meeting together. So they're doing a Zoom meeting, and I joke, because the guy in Bluntstown is not going to agree with what's going on in Miami. Let's just be real. But coming up here this week, they will make a vote. And if that vote goes through, the potential of coming back, the set date would be August 10th to return for practice with the season starting around August 28th. If it does not, we don't know. But the earliest it'll come back would be start of the season, August 28th. Votes happening this week. We'll keep you posted.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gulick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, looking forward to talking to Logan 30acre on more on the Tom Brady dinner, and also getting to more with Cam Walker as she'll join us to talk some Clemson football and get to more on the biggest stories happening around the game of football.
Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Simulcast each every night on Blab TV across 4 states here in the South. And joining us now, in this business, I've had an opportunity to sit here and talk with LeBron James on shows, interviewed one-on-one with Tim Tebow. But I saw this article in the newspaper in the PNJ, and I was so jealous because Logan 30acre joins us, a YouTube star here. If you have not checked out his videos, great. He's got millions of followers and a nice guy. We've had a chance to talk here the last few minutes. But, Logan, you have a chance now where you get to me. I can't even say this, but I'm like shedding a tear, like it's a movie here, with Tom Brady and the opportunity here. Just first off, thanks for joining us, and talk about just a little bit about your life and the opportunity being here in Pensacola and getting a chance to do what you love to do.
I mean, I love it. It's really fun. It's awesome. Like, I never thought I'd make it this big on YouTube. I never thought I'd get this far, and definitely not ever thought I was going to have dinner with Tom Brady. So I didn't think that was ever going to happen. But no, I've lived here in my whole life. I grew up here, and I went to Tate High School and graduated from there. And then after that, instead of going to college, I focused on making YouTube videos, and it kind of blew up over the last few years. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I honestly just can't believe it.
Well, and that's one thing is, what I'll say is, if you do something well, no matter what you do in life, people will always try to tell you one thing or another, and wherever you hear people, I say about 50 things a day where I walk out of the studio, I'm like, I'm sure somebody either didn't not only disagree, that probably is texting somebody like, did you hear what he said? But the difference is when you know that you're good at something or people are following you, because that's the thing about the world today. Well, the world today might be a little different, but the world usually, what we can understand is that if you're good at something, people will judge whether or not they want your content.
Yeah.
How many people sing in the shower and think they're great at singing?
Yeah.
But the difference is, if you're really good at singing, you hear them at one of those talent shows or one of those game shows, and you go, oh, that's the next voice. That's the next. Well, you've got, I watch your videos, and they're awesome. You're very talented, and I love watching the videos, and we'll get to those coming up here, some of the videos.
Yeah.
But, and with the key of the car, I've maybe done that to my dad, but if he's listening, he's like, brought up some bad memories there. But overall, what we have to say is that you've got a following that wants to see every single time that you have a new video.
Yeah.
And no matter what I say, no matter what Doug says, no matter what Wendy, no matter what anybody says, those people want you.
Yeah.
So when you have you can say things without saying things in life. So think about if I said something like, there is a Netflix video where there's pink ooze, but there's also a sign that says 1 billion served. You know exactly who I'm talking about without saying anything about that company. You see what I'm saying? But those people, they had to build extra drive-through lanes because of that company, because other people don't care what other people have to say. They want that menu.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, you guys, you do such a great job with all of your content, and I think it's great. And we're going to get to more on that, but talk a little bit about this part right here. I've got my mini Brady jersey that I was hoping, no joke, my daughter now is 4, but I married a Saints gal, and at the time, we were winning the Super Bowls like usual, so it's just an everyday Sunday, normal. But at that moment, I thought maybe they'll let that happen. I remember my wife said, you need to get rid of that. That was 4 years ago. It sits here. Like, you could see this. I feel like I'm from the old Inspector Gadget with, like, the cat. I just pet this in the corner over here. Like, it's very creepy. But overall, you can tell my fandom for Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
I could not do anything but hold on to that thing, and it's probably like $9 on eBay. You have an opportunity, some of the different memorabilia and the things that you have. Talk about this, because this is so cool. I'm excited right now just to hear about some of the stuff that you have.
Oh yeah, so it won't be my first time meeting him. Mm-hmm. I actually got to play football with him at a charity event in Boston, where he signed my Super Bowl tickets. But the first Super Bowl I went to was Super Bowl 51 when they versed the Falcons, because my brother's a huge Falcons fan, and so I was like, I'll take you to the Super Bowl. So we got 50-yard line seats at the Super Bowl. It was my first Super Bowl ever, and the Falcons were up 28-3 at halftime. And I was about to leave. I didn't want to see Brady get blown out in the Super Bowl. But my brother told me to stay and watch, and I was like, okay, I'll watch. And then the Patriots came back and won it, and I was like, oh my God. So I went to the next 2 Super Bowls after that where Brady was in it. And so I wanted him to sign my first Super Bowl ticket. Mm-hmm. So I went to this charity event where you could play charity football with him. And they said nothing was allowed to be autographed or anything. They said no autographs, no pictures. And I said, okay. So I snuck the ticket in under my shirt, and I had a Sharpie in my pocket. And so I went to the locker room. And I was sitting there, and Tom Brady walks in with his kids, and nobody's running up to him. No one's talking to him. And so I look at this camera guy that was taking pictures for the event, and I said, do you think Tom Brady will sign my Super Bowl ticket? He says, I don't see why not. So I walk up to him, and I'm like, hey, can you sign my Super Bowl ticket? And he goes, sure. And he just grabs it and he signs it. And then I said, can I get a selfie real quick? So we take a picture and it comes out blurry. And I said, can I get another picture? He's like, sure. And I take a picture and it's blurry again. And it's just the lighting so bad. I'm like, okay, one more picture, please. And he's like, sure. He said yes all 3 times. So I got him to sign my Super Bowl tickets. That's the first thing. That's the only thing I got him to sign in person. Mm-hmm. But I went to his last 3 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 51, 52, and 53. And so every jersey that I wore to that, he signed all 3 of them because he had a thing where you could send in memorabilia and he'd sign it. So I have that, and yeah, I just been collecting a bunch of Tom Brady things. The All In Challenge sent me this jersey once I won the dinner auction. So hopefully he'll sign this at dinner.
Oh, I think he will.
Yeah,
I think he will. And talk about that opportunity for dinner. And I think that's a cool story because he signed them. But today, if you walked up to him, he'd be like, Logan, look, man, I don't have like 45 minutes. If you're bringing all the Super Bowl tickets, that's way too many tickets to sign these days. I mean, do you know that he's played in more Super Bowl? You probably do. I'm talking this like I'm like talking to you're like, yes, I'm Tom Brady fan. But do you know he's played in more Super Bowls than any franchise in NFL history has made a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's been
That's
to 9.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been to 9, but Green Bay, you have the Denver Broncos and you have the Dallas Cowboys that have been to 8. And you're sitting here with the guy that's been to more Super Bowls himself than any other team in the history back when they weren't playing with a pigskin. They were actually catching a pig around the field. So it's great to think of that. And I've been a fan from day one. I understand. I accept this whole Cam Newton talk at New England. I just sort of, I'm like, hey, what do you think of Cam? I'm like, hey, where are we going to go to eat? Like, just change the subject. He can do what he wants. And his wardrobe and Bill Belichick, I joke, is you actually get all the classes of the movie The Hunger Games. Think about it. You get the one, like the lowest level with Bill Belichick and his cut-off sleeves, and they get Cam Newton, who's dressed like that's fire wrapped around in like some kind of outfit that you would see from some fashion show. So it's pretty cool. But when it comes down to Tom Brady, the opportunity to get to go and meet him, and you also, it wasn't one of these that like he was doing a favor for you. Talk about what went into that. $800,000 to win the package with Brady, with dinner. That's pretty cool, but how did you win it? And talk a little bit about that.
All right, so I was in Miami visiting my girlfriend, and I get a text from my friend, and he's like, this seems like something you would do. And I clicked on it, and it said, have dinner with Tom Brady, and I think the bid was at $70,000, and I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I was like, I'm so doing it. And so I called my business manager. I'm like, I need to do this. And she's like, well, then let's do it. And she said, well, don't bid yet. She said, leave. Like, it had like 30 days left. And I was like, there's no point in bidding now. Leave it at 70 because let's wait till the last day and start bidding. So I couldn't really sleep at night because I was like, I want to bid on it now. Like I want to, because I had like a price point that if it got to, I didn't want to go past it. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and bid it to that number and see if anyone goes past it. So I bid it to about $400,000 to $500,000, and I was the winning bid for a few days, and I was so excited. I was like, okay, we'll stay like that. Well, then someone outbid me to $600, and then I did $700, and then they did $750, and then I did $770, and then they did $780, and then I did $800. It stayed at that, and no one ever beat it.
Isn't that great on those auctions? You're just like, you're waiting for the next thing. You're like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, right? I didn't know who the other bidder was.
Was there something like balloons and other things that went off on the screen? Did you like?
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
No.
I used to do that on Party Poker when I won like $1.25 in college, and I'd be like, yay, I can buy a soda for you guys, and like, But that's pretty cool. That's awesome. That is. I'm excited. You can see I'm like the fan that gets to go to Chuck E. Cheese for the first time as a kid right now.
Yeah.
So this is cool.
Yeah. So it hit 800 and it stayed like that for a few days, and then we ended up winning it. And then so they called us and said, yeah, it's confirmed everything. And so we paid the money within like a week, and then it's official. And then they sent me this jersey, and then TMZ broadcasted it. And
yes. Now you're a Brady fan, and you mentioned girlfriend. I'm married, and I make that clear on the show. But is Giselle included in this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I mean, you got to ask first.
I don't know who's all going to be there.
Like, because it's like, okay, I get dinner with the best quarterback ever. Oh, and they're going to throw in his wife, who's a Victoria's Secret model on every billboard in New York. Okay, that's just going to be bonus, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be just him, just one on. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like him and a crew of people. I don't know if there's going to be cameras. I don't know what it's going to be.
That's awesome. Well, if you need somebody to like one of those movies in the back of the trunk and be like, that's nothing back there. And I'll be like, I'm happy to abide on any of that. Yeah. But talking a little bit about the opportunity, because I have been a broadcaster for a while and had the opportunity to work everywhere, where I always call it the 3 B's of life. You got bingo, beer drinking, and bull riding. And if lucky, you got a Bass Pro Shop. So there's those cities where you go places and there's not much going on, but you know everybody. If there's a game in town, even if it's like a Polish volleyball game, everybody in town's going to be there. I've been in a lot of those cities doing a lot of games, but I've also learned a lot about culture and an opportunity. Now, I've had a chance to broadcast for a while, but I cannot drop $800,000 to go. So obviously you have done well. And I think one of the things that anybody, if they go on social media, on TV, on anything, and they say, 800,000, people are jealous because you made that money. But not one person I've ever heard, unlike the game show where you choose the door and the one door's got the goat and the other's got $1 million, gets excited when they see the goat, unless it's Tom Brady. But the difference is, we need to understand is, I look at that and say that's awesome because you obviously, as a young kid at your level, having a chance to have to make $800,000 to even, and a lot more than that. I don't want you're like, please, but 800. I mean, it's like, thank you for humbly saying that, but 800,000 to get that opportunity, that's amazing that you have this shot and you won that bid. Talk about the opportunity because you have a sweet YouTube channel. We've watched the videos. I know one of the videos I was watching earlier with the opportunity about Jeffy's car accident. But talk about, because your Super Bowser Logan and everything that you've done, I'm looking down here at the pages of 24 million views, 16 million views, 23 million views. We have a YouTube channel for us. If I get 23 views, I'd be happy, but just talk about that, the opportunity.
I mean, it's amazing. I never thought it was going to get this big. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, and we have so many fans that love us, and never did I think I'd be able to make this much money doing it, too. I mean, we love doing it, and, you don't work a day, if you're doing what you love. So I'm so blessed. I wake up every morning wondering if it's still real, but it is. And it's like, to be able to spend that much money to meet Tom Brady, I know a lot of people might think that's ridiculous, but for me,
it's your money. Do what you want with it, honestly.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I love football and, growing up watching it. I wanted to do it. And also it goes to a good cause. It's not like the money's not going to Tom Brady. It's going for, the coronavirus, and, feeding people. So, I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and to have this job is an amazing opportunity. I'm so blessed, and I can't believe it's happening. And I remember when I first uploaded my first video, I got 2 views, and I freaked out. I thought I was so famous. I was like, I got 2 views, and now when I upload, it gets 1 million in a day, and I'm like, oh, well, I've kind of lost that spark. I'm like, it's 1 million views. What is it? So I don't know. I'm so happy that it's gotten this big. Never thought I was going to get this big.
Logan, and that needs to be made clear that what you did is, the story will say you get to have a dinner with Tom Brady, but the difference is that money's going to charity.
Yeah.
So if you go to a gala or an auction where everybody's dressing up and they do that and they're like, hey, you get 2-night stay at the guy down the house that's doing the auction. He's like, we're just putting you in the room, but you're giving money for charity. You are donating that money to charity. So people need to understand that you're not just getting to meet, you're donating almost $1 million to help fight the coronavirus right now, COVID-19. And for that, thank you. Because every dollar, no matter what side, and we live in a world today, and you're a YouTube sensation, so going online and what people say, but everybody's going to have a comment. I learned a long time ago, because I'll never forget when I was 19 starting the business. I've been in the business about 16 years, and I was in Orlando, and you can tell, Doug, he is the best producer ever. He worked for ESPN. He writes a script, and then I just go ahead and just go off the top of my head because that's how my brain works, and I'm looking at the script. But the difference is, I also understand, though, that when you talk to people in life, people are great at what they do, and you've had a passion for this job, but you also have seen at the beginning of your career, I'm sure, comments or anything that you just have those moments.
Yeah.
Because people are sentimental people, whether they say it or not, whether they hold it in. I remember I wrote my entire show in ESPN Orlando when I started, and I could do a 2-hour show. There's no notes. I'm just looking at your webpage right here. I don't have notes, but I can do this every day while punching camera buttons while we're talking right now because I'm used to doing this while running a whole entire board for 4 states on ESPN.
Yeah.
The difference is, I remember when I wrote out my whole first show, the comments were like, who is this clown, da-da-da, because they liked the other guy. And I went home crying, and I thought I just wanted to end it. And someone's like, dude, you did a great – one guy walked over. I didn't even know him, and he was like, man, I loved your show. And I was like, cool. And the next day I showed up to work, and I was happy to do it.
Yeah.
But I was ready to end it just from one comment on a forum. Yeah. How does that feel when you're going through? Because I love this stuff. I watched the whole thing from talking about it. I thought when you were saying son of a, and I was like, oh, and my daughter, and then biscuit, and I started laughing, and everything about it was great. But talk about going through that, because to get to how many followers you have, we're not talking about, you're one of the best YouTube stars in the world we're sitting here with. Talk about that moment, because you've had to go through the trials and tribulations, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you upload videos, and there's there could be 10,000 positive comments, but the one negative comment will get to you. You know, and so I've had to learn to just not pay attention that well. But this job gets really hard because you have to think of ideas all the time and try to make everyone happy, and you want to make everyone happy. So you upload a video and 20,000 people comment saying they love it, but there's that one person who didn't like it, and you want to please that one person.
Yes, you do, yeah.
That one person, what did I do wrong? And it'll keep you up at night. It will. And so I've had to learn to, cope with it and get over it. And like I know people will be like, well, that's such a struggle, but it does get to you, and so you just want to make everyone happy, and you got to accept that you won't ever make anyone happy.
That's the key right there. I'm still 35 and I haven't accepted that. I'm finally last couple months I'm accepting that as a human, but so that's important.
You can't make everyone happy, so just do what you love doing. If you're happy doing it, then you're doing it right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so like I said, I'm up here. I'm so excited because this meeting you today and the opportunity about Tom Brady has been incredible. Yeah. Talk about though some of the memorabilia, because I brought this. Like I said, we brought this in. I know you talked about some of it. What's your coolest piece of memorabilia?
I actually have, so Super Bowl 53 was his last Super Bowl win. I actually have the ball that was kicked off in the game. So I bought it on an auction at the NFL. So I have the auction from the ball that was actually kicked off at the beginning of the game. So that's one of my favorite ones. But honestly, I think my favorite one is this first jersey that I wore to his first Super Bowl, because he signed it, and I don't know, I feel really happy about that one. But
okay, more importantly here, you have a chance to answer this question. This could jeopardize our future friendship. We're all friends here in this so far. Are you going to care more if he won with the Bucs or the Patriots?
If he wins with the Buccaneers, it'll be cool, but I like the Patriots.
I'd love that answer right there. Either way, I'd have been nice, but I would just...
I would love him to win with the Buccaneers, but I still like the Patriots.
You know that one guy on the comment board? That's not me today. I'm going home happy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But talk about, you got a number of awesome people here today. Wendy, I don't want to make the wrong comment. Girlfriend here?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was getting hard. I'm like, who over here? But talk about the people here today, because a supporting cast and a crew together, you need that in life.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I would be I used to tell, when I got married, my wife, God bless her soul for putting up with me, but I remember the days of I comfortably would fold clothes together into a pile, nice and neat. She was like, what happened to your hangers? I said, but I know where they're laid out nicely on my floor. She was like, we'll work with him. I remember that. So I've come a long way, but sort of. But talk about the family support and having the opportunity, because I know a couple people are like, I know that guy that drives that Lambo in town. So people know you in town. But talk about your family support and the opportunities to work with a good group of people around you.
Well, I have my business manager Wendy, who gets everything done.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, say I want it done, it happens. she makes everything happen.
You guys even have cool masks. I like that.
Yeah. And then I have my girlfriend Adriana. And so she's here and helps. She supports me and gets me through all the negative comments. And so and then I have my family and my brother Lance, who does it with me. And so I have a good supporting cast around me. So
what you do with your videos, I watched him having Super Mario there when he got his hat removed. That was really funny. I didn't know he had that little of hair, but overall, you talk about the opportunities with Jeffy Goes Bowling or the car accidents. What was the most fun one to make?
The keying in the car one wasn't that fun because it was her car that we keyed.
I was wondering that. I was wondering, somebody's going to be a little ticked off, but then I realized, I was like, okay, then you also have an $800,000 dinner with Brady, so I think you got that fixed.
Yeah, no,
we would have been like, I'll get that money for you, being like, we're on to him. Remember 2 weeks ago he said that? But
we already got it fixed because the video makes money. So I thought if I key it, I make money out of it. So it was her car. So sorry about doing that. And so my favorite video I ever filmed. We've always filmed that. We filmed 2 videos at Disney World. Those are always fun because you get to you get to go with your friends and film them.
Don't tell the basketball players that they're very hurt right now that they got to go stay at the Grand Floridian.
Oh no,
and finish their season and $9 million contract. So don't just.
Oh no, I'd love to. Most fun video I've ever filmed. I guess it'd have to be the Disney World ones. I mean, other ones are filmed. All of my videos are usually filmed at my house. Going bowling's fun, but the most fun one has to be Disney World because you get to have fun while you do it, and it's like a paid vacation. You get to film and make money doing it, and so I'd have to say the Disney World one.
What's the easiest way for people to get to your page and subscribe?
If you go on YouTube and type in Jeffy or SBL or Super Bowser Logan, it'll come up, or SML. Those two, it'll come up those ways.
That's what I have the same way. I tell people, if you type in Despacito, the song, it comes up with me. It's like 6.9 billion, I think.
Yeah,
but it's okay. I was a background guy going.
The dancing.
I'm just saying. Just check that one out as well. But overall, talking about the opportunity going forward, because you're a young guy that has done things and the opportunity. We're talking here with Logan 30acre, just a YouTube star and an opportunity to meet Tom Brady with dinner, $800,000. That money is going towards helping with COVID-19, and a great Pensacola story here. So we're very pleased and lucky to have him up here. But Logan, you're young and you've had success. That is a world today where it's changed a lot. Where back in the day, we expected maybe the grandparents to do things and other opportunities. But kids today, whether it's apps, online, business entrepreneurs, you have a lot of people that are owning teams or doing things like you have the opportunity to meet Tom Brady. What do you see as your future vision? Because money, fame, the opportunity to meet the best in the world. I mean, if I could pick one guy on a list, it's either him or Big Papi. And I'm not going around the Dominican after what happened there. But overall, if you had one, what is your goal and your life? Because you've already accomplished about the three biggest. Sorry, let me not say three biggest things, because family should come first, and then those other ones. I get real giddy when I'm talking about Brady. I'm like, the most exciting thing. People are like, that shouldn't be on your list. But talk about what is to you the one thing that you would say that you want to do, knowing that you've all had that fame and fortune that a lot of people would just strive their whole lives to do? I want to focus on, I want to get into more serious movies one day. Like, I want to win an Oscar. That'd be kind of fun, like as a director. So, I mean, I know I do online right now and it's for fun, but I mean, it does really well right now. So I hope that one day I can move on to, movies and like be a serious director. And, hopefully make a movie that's actually in theaters. Because I remember growing up watching movies, I wanted to be that name at the end that says directed by. So I want to do that one day. That's awesome. Well, you're already, but that's the thing today. You're already doing it because, like I said, to see these numbers, 20 million people are not sitting in there today. Heck, you can't even go to the theaters. I know that. But I thought it was funny. I was one of two people in a movie because I'm the guy that sees the movie. Someone's like, that's been out the theaters for like 3 weeks. But I'll be that guy, and then you have to pick the number of the seat. I'm like, I thought I didn't even know this movie was still out. I thought it was a Netflix thing. And the guy's like, what number do you want? I'm like, all right, I'll pick 24. And he's like, sit there. And I go in the theater, and I'm looking up, I'm like, there's nobody in here. I'm gonna sit in one. I was waiting for like alarm to go off, but but I was the only one in that theater paying that for. You've got 20 million followers. You have that. So what you're telling yourself you want to do, you've accomplished. I'm telling you that. Yeah. You've accomplished, and congratulations. Thank you. This dinner, this is gonna be awesome. You better, now that I know y'all, I'm expecting some inside, like, oh my gosh, I'm walking in, and send me a text at least. Yeah. Because I'm gonna be up, like Brittany's gonna be like, go to bed. I'm gonna be like, no, I want to watch this, and just talk about, what is the first thing you're going to ask Tom when you meet him? That's a big question. Oh, man. I have no idea. Maybe a little saliva. Like. Yeah, like that. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so nervous because I've never, I don't know what to do when I see him. Like, do you drive? Here's one I'll give you. Do you drive a cooler car than a Lambo? That's a good conversation starter. No. You might have him just be like, Tom, you don't got me. I got you on something. Boom. Mic drop, and you walk out. I got a cooler girl than you. Boom. Yeah, I got to walk out. And then and you're like, that's not what the dinner was about. But no, talk about what do you think that's going to be? I mean, I feel like I want to know like how the setting's going to go. Like, is he going to say something first? Am I going to I don't know. Because I get to bring 3 people with me. So I haven't decided yet who's going. I mean, I got 2. I have 1 spot open. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so it's I'm trying to figure out. You didn't bring anyone else? No. Just marking this down on the list. Okay. Just making sure. Yeah. Okay. No. Continue, please. I'll probably bring one of the friends I took to the Super Bowl with me, like that got to see him win. Yeah. Because like I want people who appreciate him. I'm getting a text. He got sick. Sick. Is it? I get it. I'm just kidding with you. No. I feel like you'd have all the good questions. I actually got to meet Tom, but it was from a distance, screaming his name, and he gave one of those like. Really? From the crowd. But yeah, I was covering a game, and I was supposed to be act appropriate. When you go to the media, you have to act. But it was the Patriots were playing the Titans, and they were blowing him out. And I was like, Tom, and he was like, because it was only media only, so he didn't expect it. From fans, you expect that. But he's in the locker room. He's like, who's this guy? Why is he in here? Right? But why get my autograph? I'm in a suit and tie. But overall, did they drag you out? They did not. I was not invited back. But overall, I've always been Tom. I mean, his accolades speak for themselves. I think it's funny when you live in a world where people will tell you every day, everybody has something that they'll tell you what is right and what's wrong, but you have to make decisions for yourself. You made that decision, a hard decision, because people will say, go to college, do this, do this, do this. You created where you have 20 million views and you are living the dream and that's what the opportunity and the dream to do so. And that's cool, really cool, because I've done that, but not the coolest way to drive a Lambo. I drive a Honda Accord. It's nice. It gets good gas mileage. But overall, I've lived that dream where I've been in a lot of cities and had to work for what I've done to become what I've been today. And I'm proud of that. But this is super cool because, not only do you have this page with 20, this is awesome. And then also with the opportunity to meet Tom Brady and also donate money to something that can help more lives. To me, that's the coolest part of all of this. But getting a chance to meet Tom is awesome, and this is really cool. Now, I'm looking at the different dolls to buy. Which one is the coolest one here?
The Jeffy one is the best.
The Jeffy one is?
That's the best character.
I like the T-shirt. It's pretty cool on that as well. Well, honestly, for everything, looking forward to – we can catch up during the season. I'd love
definitely.
During this, we're on TV. We got the cameras here, but I'd love – you can even zoom in or call in, and we'll put your graphics up there with everything.
Okay.
We'd love to make some picks on the different things going on with Tom Brady or anything throughout the weeks. But it is great to catch up with you, Logan.
Thank you so much.
And really enjoy the dinner. Thank you guys for making the time. And I'm always – open to talking anything, and like I said, if that third person can't make it for some reason,
there you go.
Just remember, I can zoom in. I'll be on the phone. Hey, who's this guy right here? Oh, that's the host of ESPN and Blab TV and sports director. Hi guys. Yeah. So don't worry about that. But Logan, we'll fist pump through the plexiglass. That's what we do during these times. And thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Logan 30-acre, YouTube star right here. You could check out his page, and what an amazing guy and an opportunity to have a chance to meet Tom Brady. We won the bid, $800,000. That money will go towards helping with COVID-19 and representing Pensacola strong, too. Let's representing our city over everybody in the world that would love to have dinner with Tom Brady. So there we go. Pensacola wins again. Thanks, Logan, and hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right, we're coming back for more. It's a Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and on Blab TV.
Welcome to Bo! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the most food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. Snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us the freedom of religion.
It's the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote.
It's the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech.
The veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble.
It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press.
It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial.
We should all be very proud of our young men and women in the service, no matter where they serve. Thank you.
For your ridiculous facts, I'm JP. During the 1904 Summer Olympics in St. Louis, the American Frederick Loers was the first to reach the finish line of the marathon race. It turned out, however, that he had covered about half the distance by car. Sneaky, sneaky. When Chinese basketball player Yao Ming first appeared for his new team in Houston, it was celebrated with 8,000 fortune cookies which were distributed to the fans. Ming was quite surprised as he had never seen a fortune cookie in his life, as fortune cookies are not Chinese, but an American invention. Nice try, Houston. Nice try. That's your ridiculous facts. I'm JP.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
What if people had a battery level icon? Like on your phone? You'd see a lot of us in need of a recharge. Thank goodness there's 5-Hour Energy. Because just one sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-Hour Energy shot can get you all the way back to 100% fast. And isn't life better at 100%? 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
JP here. Everyone here at ESPN Pensacola wants to send a shout out to our first responders and healthcare workers at this time. We know it's tough, but we appreciate the work you put day in and day out. We also want to thank our essential workers out there for helping all of us continue to live our lives as normal as possible in this time. For our community, keep rocking it. We are going to get through this. Remember, we were named the #1 strong town in America. That wasn't by accident. We have seen so many people step up and do their part, and we thank all those people for their efforts. We will be stronger for this, and together, we will beat COVID-19.
The latest news and sports can be heard on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Get the latest news and football on Talk Football with Coach K. Daily sports talk on your drive home on The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. And a recap and look ahead of the sports week on Sports Call with Davis and Justin every Saturday. Plus, national sports radio talk on Golic and Wingo, The Dan Lebertard Show with Stu Gotts, and The Paul Feinbaum Show. It all lives on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Usher, 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 usher. Let's go. In the club with my homies, tryna get a little VI, keep it down on the low key. You should know how it is. I saw the shorty, she was checking up on me. From the game, she was spitting in my ear. You would think that she know me.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola. Just realized we're at like a full-out club right there with that music right there. See, my headphones only get so much, but I just saw a little more bass on that one right there. Do you even know what this song is, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. That's
I'm awful with titles
okay,
and artists. Don't ask me about that, but I know the song.
I know you're a little older than that video of those girls that were sitting there and they started playing like Usher songs and Little John and a bunch of things like Kanye West, and they had no clue what any of them were.
No,
I mean, they had like
Baby
Boy by Beyonce and all these, and like they had no clue what it was, like Pitbull songs and other things. And I know it's a different world, but if you don't know what Get Low is or 369, but when it comes down to talking about sports, Cam Walker's joining us. I've got some cool people, way cooler people than me coming in here today. This is and JP was here as well. I'm just kidding. He's out there listening. JP, love you, man. And we have an opportunity today to talk with Logan 30acre, who was a Pensacola YouTube star. He gets to grab some sushi with the 6-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady this September after winning a bet. It's a coronavirus charity where $800,000 was the winning ticket. Includes dinner with Brady, tickets to legendary quarterback's first home game right there in Tampa, and also a game jersey, cleats, and he won the bet. He's representing Pensacola.
Well, I've realized I need to change my career.
Not yet. You can follow in the footsteps of me, and I had ramen with my daughter. No, I'm just joking. But overall, Cam, how's it going today? Cam Walker joining us here as Clemson University. I'll never get that wrong again.
No,
one day I said University of Clemson.
It's okay.
But how's your day going?
It's not bad. Today's Tuesday, right?
Yeah?
All right.
How was your 4th of July?
It was, just kind of like it didn't really feel like the 4th, just everything.
Doesn't it feel a long time ago that happened, though, now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Tuesday.
It was just Saturday, but
it was just a couple of...
it just kind of felt like, any other day with all the everything.
Are you
so.
You don't have to be like a America without the A, but are you one of those that wants to see a lot of things explode?
Honestly, I mean, I like fireworks. I'm not going to set them off, and I don't want to be near the people setting them off.
Hopefully, if you were near a gentleman or anybody, you would not be that one doing that. I mean, I would hope that. But
I mean, they're fun to watch. They're fun.
I like the grand finale.
Yeah.
I like it when they fool you with like 4 grand finales. That's really cool.
Sometimes aggravating. You're
yes,
like, come on.
Well, when it comes down to what we're seeing right now, we still don't have a perfect answer. Some of the stories today, Alabama OC Steve Sarkisian recovering after heart surgery. You have a situation right now where Patrick Mahomes gets the most money in NFL history. But I saw that sigh. Was that sigh because
it's crazy?
Because
that sigh is
he's about
insane.
to get married, or is that sigh because I was going to say? I was like, wait, where are we going with that?
I actually went on Instagram today and I just stalked his girlfriend.
Just in case.
8 years now.
That's what I just did with Logan. He's like, I got one extra spot, and I'm like looking over them, like, I'm kidding, but I'm not. I'm like, if you want to, invite that guy, I could do a whole story on it. Like, look, I can come back and put you on TV and radio and pictures. Like, I'm the guy, and be like, nah, dude, I have more friends. Like, But overall, talking about the opportunity to get that much money in your life. The good news about this story is that it's a good human that has the money. From what we know, when I say that, I have no clue if he's like, hey, bye, guys, and goes in like some basement with like, we don't know everybody's life, but we do understand from what we've seen, Patrick Mahomes seems like a pretty cool dude. Mm-hmm. He lived in a lot of times athletes like this do when their parents played professional ball. And Pat Mahomes, his dad, pitched for the Minnesota Twins. I remember watching him play. And it was when the Minnesota Twins had players, if you were good, you like really stood out as good. It's right after they won the World Series. A lot of those guys retired. But he's got a team that has good players but not great players.
Right.
If somebody's going to get paid, I'd rather see a guy like him than the conversations of Dak Prescott, where you're sitting going, Dak might be an okay guy, but he went 1-6 against playoff teams last year.
Patrick has proven that he earns that with his resume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this post from ESPN today, but they broke down his contract. Did you see that by minute, by hour?
Yes, I did. It just makes me more upset. But, yeah.
It was the year that he's going to make $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
And so per second, it's $1.60. Per minute, $96. Per hour, almost $6,000. And per day, $137,000. It's all you can do is laugh, I guess.
And that's why some of the contracts, when you break it down like that, I'll never forget there was a pitcher in baseball that was really bad, but he was a closer. And he had like a 6 ERA, just couldn't get anything done. And he got shelled in one of the games. But based on that he was going to get 42 to 50 appearances out of the bullpen that year, he got a $25 million deal. So if, let's say he had 50 appearances, and that's highballing it, based on every appearance, he got $500,000. So imagine walking to the mound, and they're like, all right, Brilliante up there. He looks completely befuddled why they put him in. He's not that good in 35. He's got a torn rotator cuff. He's on the mound. Grand slam. They've lost now. They're up 3-0. Now it's gone. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Grand slam, final score 4-3. They lose. I'd still be like, for $500,000, being like, blowing kisses to the crowd, throwing roses. I'd be like, all right, guys, sorry. I'm going to go home. I'm going to shake this off at the bar. I'm going to buy everybody shots like 4 times and still have like, from this day alone, like $450,000 left. So I'm good here, everybody. But like, I know everything doesn't come down to money, but sometimes the money gets so absurd like that you start thinking that. Like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, every time they put their head on their pillow when they wake up, they've made over $1 million. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff is... It's also aggravating. But Patrick Mahomes, if you base these two things, what right now the market is dictating, like those restaurants that say market price, where you're like, I'm not touching this. Like, I'm not there yet in my life to just eat market price because I don't know what the bill's going to be. If the girl gets it and you're on a date, you're like, I hope it's not what I think. But overall, you can be the market price, or you could be the guy that also has the type of money because you are great at your job. And he fits both those. Yeah. The market right now is making more money than ever in the NFL. And on top of that, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback currently. Mm-hmm. I don't know, we just had Logan on, and I agree, Logan, if you're out there listening, Tom Brady's the best quarterback ever. I agree. But right now, it's Patrick Mahomes. So based on those two things, he deserves the money he got, even though it's absurd. I mean, it's insane money.
I cannot disagree. I can't. And it's kind of mind-boggling to think that his contract is ending in 2031. Ooh. 31 when 2020 seems like the longest year ever, and it's a whole nother decade for his contract.
Well, we'll talk some more. Dwight Howard joining the team in Orlando. We'll get into more on the shortened football season ahead and just have some fun. Ken Walker joining us here. It's been a fun day in studio. Looking forward to talking some more college football when we return with Cam Walker, Clemson University. When we return right here, it's ESPN Pensacola, Blab TV.
There are kids in this country who didn't have a parent at their baseball games or recitals because their parents were serving in faraway places. But now they're coming home, and Wounded Warrior Project assists them through the Warriors to Work program.
My mom used to be a tank programmer. Now she works with computers. I'm really glad she's home because I can't eat my dad's marshmallow macaroni anymore.
To support the Warriors to Work program, contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Football season never ends on Talk Football with Coach K.
Stidham is tearing it up at New England. He may well be the incumbent to Tom Brady there.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K brings his expertise as he breaks down the game, the players, the coaches, and the front office. Plus, high-profile interviews from the biggest names in football. Talk Football with Coach K every weekday from noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
Are you craving something unusual and exciting? A new adventure? Visit the Adventure Gurus at Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida. From commuters and daily drivers to long-haul tourers and off-road explorers, they'll match you to the perfect ride with a proven process that gets you on the road quickly, cost-effectively, and safely. Adventure Motorsports is an authorized dealer for BMW, Indian, Ducati, Suzuki motorcycles, as well as Polaris, Slingshot. Find your adventure at Adventure Motorsports of Northwest Florida. Visit AdventureMotorsportsNWF.com.
This Thursday at 5:30, tune into the Sports Drive with me, Chad Brillante, when we tee it up with PGA and head pro at Osceola Golf Course, Adrian Stills, for his inside scoop on local golf events and some entertaining stories around the links. Adrian has represented Pensacola at the highest levels of the PGA Tour and is proud to call Pensacola his home. And now he's giving you the inside scoop. Thursday at 5:30, right here on the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl $100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each every day on Blab TV. Joined by Cam Walker here, joining us here as, right now, if you had to say who's the best quarterback ever that has played at Clemson, and I know that no disrespect overall to Kelly Bryant, but when it comes – sorry, you're like, I can't even hold in the laughter right there. Thank you. Taj Boyd was all right. I wasn't going to disrespect Taj Boyd. But overall, if it came down to it, it more than likely is between two guys. It's Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence, both during your lifetime right there.
Yes.
Who would you say? I know Trevor still has a year if we play this season, and he's the favorite to win the Heisman with Justin Fields and also the favorite to win the national title with Alabama and Ohio State. What would you say right now if they didn't play that final season? Who is the best quarterback in your opinion? I know you go to school and class with guys like Trevor, looking like sunshine out there, but who would you say is that?
Between Deshaun and
Trevor?
and
Trevor. Yeah.
I would have to go. I think that Trevor's career, starting with him as a freshman, was stronger, and so
he won 35 straight games. It's hard to.
Can you?
And that dates back to his high school career too.
Right.
But the guy never lost for 35 straight games until that game against LSU.
I mean, he kind of has a chip on his shoulder there.
He does. Yeah, he does. But what do you feel that game, when you look back at that game, Sorry, I'm bringing back bad memories. You're like, why are we going down this? This is not where I want to go. Listen, remember, I'm. Where's my stuff over here? My LSU. We'll zoom in on this. Look at this. I'm really. This is great. But listen, 50% being married to an LSU gal. I get to claim 50. As UCF, we were going to do that anyway. But that is part of mine. So, go Tigers, everybody out there. Yes, listening. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though that with Clemson, you guys, to me, the game plan. There was a few things that could have been done different, and you could have won that national title. And I know, and nobody can say that against LSU. Like with a few things, you could have won that. Florida did well, Auburn did well, Alabama, but most of the time they annihilated their opponent. Clemson had a lead, and I felt like they kept putting their foot on the gas pedal when they should have tried to say, we're not going to be able to go in a marathon against Joe Burrow. We need to run the football and pick up. We need to use the strength of our front. Mm-hmm. That was my opinion, but. I don't know if they would have won anyway, but what did you see in that game?
No, the plan definitely was not executed very well, and sometimes Clemson is a second half kind of team, and that's what I was expecting. I was like, okay, I've got some faith here, but they didn't show up. Travis didn't have his greatest game either that night, so. I mean, like I've said, it was definitely a reality check.
You're like I said, Chad, I don't want to talk about this. I would like to move on from this, and I would say Clemson is a second-half team, but I could also insert many people are second-half teams against ACC teams.
All right.
I'm just playing with that. I'll just throw that. Shh. Oh, you're like, I'm not coming back on the show. Dwight Howard will join the team in Orlando. I feel like we're dating back. We're going into like a time machine 15 years ago.
We've talked about this, too.
There we go. Dwight Howard, though, having that opportunity to join the team again. Big news for LA. At one point, we're actually going to talk about them playing. Like, I feel like everything has been like, who's showing up? Who even wants to show up? It's Disney. Once it gets there, I think there's three teams. There's the Lakers, there's the Clippers, and they're the Bucks. Those, to me, are the three main teams. You can throw in Houston. You can throw in teams like a Toronto. But to me, those are the three main teams that I think are going to win it. One of those three teams is going to win it. Do you feel Dwight Howard makes him that much better? Because to be a backup player for JaVale McGee and to come off the bench is better than a lot of teams have as a backup. But can he still? Because Dwight Howard will be lost in the mix winning a title. It's all about LeBron and Anthony Davis possibly getting his first. But Dwight, if he gets that first, will it be a big deal?
I know he hasn't contributed a whole lot, but I think just the main part of going to Orlando to support your team kind of, I don't know, gives a drive. I'm actually really excited for Howard. I was someone who was holding him accountable for everything he had been saying because, I wasn't scared to call him.
We don't do that in the news today, but continue. Getting held accountable, please.
I mean, I was pretty much prepared to, throw a little hypocrisy out there. But I think, it was probably a very difficult decision for him to go to Orlando because these are two things that he's really passionate about, basketball and working on the racial oppression. But I think the way he's doing it is perfect. Donating his checks to his nonprofit. So I think it kind of gives it's like the best of both worlds there.
I think honestly though, and this is just my opinion, and that doesn't mean it's everybody's opinion. That's the great part about this world is to peacefully have an opinion. Now, if I disagree with your opinion and I took whatever this right here and threw it at you, now all of a sudden my opinion, I have made sure to let you know that what I just did with that remote, I don't care about your opinion because I just threw something at you. But I want to listen to everybody and I understand. But my opinion on this is that using the platform of the NBA starting will go over bigger than ever with people sitting at home knowing that they're going to be excited to watch sports. Mm-hmm. They're going to also have an opportunity to hear the platform and the people wearing, whether it's a name of somebody on the back of their jersey or the Black Lives Matter, whatever. I think the platform they have with the NBA playing is 10 times stronger than if an athlete says, I know the NBA is still going to play, but I'm going to sit back and do like YouTube videos or hang out and just continue. Like, to me, that shows how much are we supposed to believe in what you're saying when you just left all of your athletes, your team that you worked hard and they need you, high and dry? How are we supposed to believe that what you're saying out of your mouth is 100% valid, that you're going to continue? Because this isn't going to happen overnight. So if you're going to say that, you need to have longevity. It's not going to happen. If you're fighting for this, don't go do it for a day and then stop, because that's not changing it. This is going to take a process, and I know a lot of people don't like it because it is taking a process, but it's not going to happen and stop today. So if you just are out there and then you leave your team high and dry, you're showing to me that you're willing to give up on a title and an opportunity to go do something that if somebody says, well, they're doing it, Chad, for a bigger reason, well, they can use that exact platform in a stronger way with their team.
The biggest platform, yeah.
So to me, it's not that. I'm not saying give up on it. Use a platform in even a bigger way with the NBA. That's, to me, why I think it would be a lot better for these athletes to play.
Oh, yeah. Even though he had been saying that it was a bad idea to go to Orlando because it'd be a distraction, now he is. I think that him giving his checks is acting upon his words even better because, I don't know, he's just doing something about it. That's what he's doing. Have you heard all of the technology that they have in Orlando?
No, I have not.
No, okay. I'll let you. I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm excited about this. I've seen the technology in Disney. I have seen 15 different holograms be placed right on Princess's Castle right there for Cinderella. Different. Oh, it's different?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I've been keeping up with Malika Andrews, who has been in the bubble.
Yeah.
And so she was showing a bracelet on SportsCenter today that if you're within 6 feet of somebody, it'll start blinking for 5. If it's 6 feet within for 5 seconds, but if you're within 6 feet of 10 seconds, it starts beeping. And so for you to, back up.
That's cool. I had the same thing with an old girlfriend in high school.
Where
really? Go like with that, it was actually within 30 yards. But if I'm just playing with you, I'm just kidding with you. You're like, oh, I might have to leave here.
They also have to take their temperature and put it in an app.
Yeah.
And if they don't do that, then the bracelets that they have to get into the different areas of the bubble, they won't let them in. I know. So it's pretty serious. So I'm excited for the teams to get down there and see how.
And they can afford it, too.
That's pretty high tech.
I love when they came out with it. It's going to cost us $150 million to finish the season out here in Orlando. And they were, like, waiting for somebody to cry. And I'm like, crickets? I mean,
I'm sorry.
You paid Tyler Johnson $48 million in Miami, and he threw up because he didn't even know he was going to be playing in the NBA. So you can do what you want with the money, So
make some high-tech bracelets.
We'll come back for more. Cam Walker joining us here as we will break down some college football news and notes when we return right here on the Sports Drive.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hurricane season is upon us, and although we aim to bring you the latest news in sports, we're committed to bringing the Pensacola community the latest updates and information during the 2020 hurricane season. In collaboration with our sister stations, News Radio 92.3, AM 1620, and Cat Country 98.7, stay up to date with breaking weather news and updates on the biggest storms impacting Northwest Florida by checking our Facebook pages at Cat Country 98.7, News Radio 92.3, and ESPN Pensacola.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee... Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
The greatest name in sports radio is ESPN. Wherever you have Alexa, you can hear ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Just say,
Alexa, enable ESPN Pensacola 1330 skill.
From quarterbacking the Pensacola High Tigers to being head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Coach K. Stevenson knows the game. And he brings his expertise to talk football with Coach K. Weekday afternoons from noon to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Jump in.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
I don't know why I'm dancing, but just welcome back, Sports Drive. Some songs just have a beat, you know.
Got a little one.
Yeah, thank you for that excuse. Thanks for
You're
throwing that
welcome.
excuse in real quick on me right there. Joined by Cam Walker, Clemson University, and kind enough to join us, one of our sports co-hosts here on the Sports Drive. Cam, when it comes down to right now, each and every week we have you on the show, and every day things are changing, so it's a good meter. Where do you see the level of us coming back at this point with some of the big universities like Clemson?
Regarding football.
Yes.
You know, when people ask me, first thing I do is just like get this big sigh out. And I'm like, all right. Because it's almost hard to get words out because I have no idea. There's kind of a million different ways they can go. You know, go later in the season and then drag it on the spring. I don't know about that option with everybody. But regardless, I do think that a shortened season is in the future for the season's football. Mm-hmm. And that's going to hurt some teams. I'm going to go ahead and say Clemson. I mean, you can say it all you want. It's true. The ACC is just as weak as everybody
I can't say crap. I went to UCF, so I don't have anything to say.
But if we're talking about playoff chances, I think those will definitely be harmed. Say that 7-9 games will get played, which is a good scenario, better than, back in 1918. But 6 of those definitely would be all ACC. And then, the Palmetto Bowl with South Carolina, they'd want to push that, but wouldn't be a guarantee. And then Notre Dame's out the window, which would be is going to be our best game this year. Anyways,
Well, that's and how much money are you asking back for tuition if they don't play football?
Oh,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll abide, right?
No.
Well, Cam, it was great catching up. It's been a fun show today. Thanks again to Logan 30 Acre for joining us to break down his opportunity to get to meet Tom Brady. Cam joining us as always, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.
I know.
All right. For all of us here for JP, I'm Chad Brillante. Thanks for tuning into the Sports Drive. God bless.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gulick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. We are hoping and scheduled to have the restart of the NBA season. We are scheduled to have the baseball season for 2020, albeit an abridged version. We will not have the Ryder Cup this year. According to ESPN's Bob Herrick, sources tell him an official announcement comes in the morning. The Ryder Cup will be postponed by 1 year. It'll be moved to next September 2021. It'll still take place at Whistling Straits around the